Hello students, today we will discuss about electric field due to an electric dipole at a point on the equatorial plane. Okay, here we have considered a dipole AB. This is the dipole and it is represented by minus Q and plus Q. Okay, and O is the center of the dipole. Now let us consider a plane that is passing through the center of the dipole and perpendicular to the dipole axis. This plane is known as equatorial plane. Okay, and consider a line on the equatorial plane which is passing through the center O. This line is known as equatorial line. Okay, and on this line we have considered a point C which is at a distance r from the center O. Okay, so this line actually bisects this dipole. This is perpendicular bisector. Okay, therefore this length and this length are equal, that is AC is equal to BC, and if this angle is theta and then this angle is also theta. Okay, now our aim is to calculate total electric field at a point on the equatorial line which is at a distance r from the center O. Okay, here due to this positive charge, okay, due to this positive charge, it will C will experience a field and it will act along this direction. Okay, and due to negative charge, this point will experience a field and it will act along this direction. Okay, how do you mention the direction of electric field? Normally, if you put a positive charge at this point, test charge, that is the test charge, okay, positive and positive will repel, so it will act along this direction, along BC. And here due to this, here it is negative and it is positive, so it will attract. So this is the direction of E minus. Okay, here E plus vector is the electric field created by plus Q and E minus vector is the electric field created by minus Q. We need to calculate the total electric field at point C. Okay, so normally vectors can be added by vector addition method. Okay, there are different methods. We are going to use one of the method by using vector resolution. Okay, so before that we will write the magnitude of electric field due to plus charge and minus charge. Okay, so here this point is at a distance. What is the distance? This distance. So by using Pythagoras theorem, this is the right angle triangle. By using Pythagoras theorem, we can write this distance. So if this distance is r, this distance is r, and if this distance is a, then this distance will be square root of a square plus r square, isn't it? A square plus r squared. Okay, so we can write the total, we can write the magnitude of electric field at point C due to plus Q, that is denoted by E plus vector. Okay, so E plus vector is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by distance square. Distance is square root of a square plus r square. So when you square this value, you will get r square plus a square. Similarly, E minus is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into this charge. Okay, we are calculating only magnitude, so you have to write plus Q. Q by this distance is also same value, that is r square plus a square. Okay. Okay, so here we have written the magnitude of E plus vector and E minus vector. Okay, then we can calculate the total electric field or resultant electric field at point C. Okay, but this is, since these are vectors, we have to follow only vector addition technique. So for that we need to resolve the vectors. Okay, we need to resolve the vectors. Here E plus can be resolved into parallel as well as perpendicular component, and E minus can be resolved into parallel and perpendicular component. Okay, now look at this here. If this angle is theta, Okay, and this angle is theta. Okay, here I can draw a parallel line to this dipole axis. Okay, then this angle is also theta. Here listen, if this angle is theta, this one is also theta. Okay, similarly this one is also theta. Okay, according to the geometry we can write the angle as theta. This angle is theta and this angle is as theta. Okay, now you can see the enlarged portion of this part. Here you can see the enlarged portion. Okay, here E plus can be resolved into parallel component E plus cos theta and perpendicular component E plus sin theta. Here this is actually the magnitude E plus cos theta and this is E plus sin theta, modulus of E plus sin theta. Okay, and similarly E minus vector can be resolved into two component. One is along this direction, that is E minus modulus of E minus cos theta, and this one is modulus of E minus sin theta. Okay, and here you can see E plus sin theta and E minus sin theta are oppositely directed, so they cancel each other. Okay, and what about E plus cos theta and E minus cos theta? They are acting along same direction, isn't it? E plus cos theta and E minus cos theta are acting along same direction. They act along minus P vector, isn't it? They act along minus P vector. If this direction is minus P, this also minus P, so they are acting along minus P vector. Okay, we can write the total electric field at point C due to both E plus and E minus. Okay, so perpendicular component cancel with each other. Only we have to consider parallel components. So the total electric field at point C will be equal to magnitude of parallel components, sum of the magnitude of parallel components of E plus and E minus. Okay, so we can write it as E plus cos theta into its unit vector is minus P cap, and E minus cos theta into its unit vector is minus P cap. So here we have minus sign only because this vector, only these two vectors, that is E plus cos theta and E minus parallel components they are acting along this direction, which is opposite to the direction of P vector. Okay, that's why we have minus sign here. Okay, we have already written the magnitude of E plus vector and E minus vector, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R square plus A square, isn't it? Now substitute the values, you will get substitute the values E plus and E minus in this equation. You will get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2q cos theta by R square plus A square into P cap. Okay, and then cos theta can be replaced in terms of R and A. Here from this triangle, look at this triangle, cos theta can be written as adjacent side by hypotenuse. Hypotenuse value is square root of R square plus A square, isn't it? Hypotenuse value is square root of R square plus A square. This is the hypotenuse value, R square plus A square. Okay, so cos theta can be written as A by square root of cos square R square plus A square. Now substitute the value of cos theta in this equation, then you will get, substitute the value of cos theta in this equation, then you will get this equation, minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2 into q into A by, here you have power 1 and here you have power 1 by 2, isn't it? 1 plus 1 by 2 is 3 by 2. 2qa by r square plus a square power 3 by 2. Okay, that is the final expression. Here we have replaced this quantity as p vector, because 2qa into p cap is p vector, so that is p vector divided by this one. At very large distance a can be neglected, so this equation becomes 1 by 4 pi minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into p vector by r cube. So this is the final expression. Okay, now we will see some of the important points regarding this discussion. Okay, so at points on the axial line, electric field is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2p vector by r cube. At very large distance the electric field is, for on equatorial line, minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into p by r cube vector. From this we can understand that the magnitude of electric field at points on the axial line or dipole axis is twice the magnitude of electric field at points on the equatorial plane. Then what about the direction? Look at the direction. Here you have plus p vector in case of axial line. In case of equatorial line you have minus p vector. So they are actually opposite. Okay, the direction of electric field at points on the dipole axis is directed along the direction of p vector, but the direction of electric field at points on the equatorial plane is directed opposite to the dipole moment vector. Here you have minus p vector. Okay, again let me consider some of the important notes. When we compare this electric field with electric field due to point charge, okay, what is the result? Look at this. Electric field due to point charge is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q by r squared. Okay, that is electric field is directly inversely proportional to r squared. In case of dipole, it is inversely proportional to r cube. Here you have 2p by r cube. For axial, for equatorial, p by r cube. It is inversely proportional to r cube. Okay, we have considered the electric field due to point charge. So electric field due to point charge is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q by r square into r cap. That is electric field varies inversely as square of distance. But in case of axial line and equatorial line, electric field varies inversely with r cube. So from this we can understand that electric field due to dipole at very large distances goes to 0 faster than electric field due to a point charge. Okay, since it is inversely proportional to r cube. Okay, then the reason for this behavior is that at very large distance the two charges appear to be close to each other and neutralize each other. And then it is valid only at very large distance. These two equations are valid only at very large distances. Okay, then we can define one more quantity, that is point dipole. Suppose the distance 2a approaches 0 and q approaches infinity such that the product of 2aq is equal to p is finite. Then the dipole is called point dipole. These two equations are applicable for point dipole also. This is true for point dipole also. So far we have discussed about electric field due to a dipole on the equatorial line, at a point on the equatorial line. Okay. Now we will discuss about torque experienced by an electric dipole in the uniform electric field. Uniform electric field will have the same direction and constant magnitude at all points in space. It is represented by parallel red color lines. Okay. Now if I have placed a dipole AB at an angle theta with electric field, then what will happen? Okay, first we will see what is the total force acting on the dipole. So whenever a charge is placed in a field, it will experience a force. Okay, now here we have two charges. Plus q will experience a force q into E, and minus q will experience a force minus q into E. Therefore, the total force acting on the dipole will be QE minus QE, that is equal to 0. Total force acting on the dipole will be 0. But look at this diagram. Here two forces are acting in opposite direction at two different points, isn't it? This would constitute a couple. Okay, whenever two equal and opposite forces are applied at two different line of action, then such a combination is known as couple. Couple causes a torque. Okay, torque is nothing but rotational force. Torque is defined as R cross F, where R is the position vector and F is the force. Okay, the direction of torque can be found by using right hand corkscrew rule. Here the direction of torque is perpendicular to the plane of paper and directed into it. The magnitude of torque can be found by using the formula R cross F. Now we can write the torque about the point O. Okay, here we can write the torque about the point O, that is equal to OA, this distance OA into this force minus QE plus OB into this force plus QE. Okay, so this can be simplified here, the OA cross minus QE. This is the cross product of two vectors. Cross product of two vectors can be written as, if you have A cross B, it can be written as AB sin theta. Likewise, we can expand this. So we can expand this into OA, modulus of OA, modulus of QE sin theta, and modulus of OB, modulus of QE sin theta. Here OA is equal to A and OB is equal to A. Okay, so A QE sin theta plus A QE sin theta. Torque is equal to OA QE sin theta plus OB QE sin theta. Okay, OA value is equal to A QE sin theta plus OB value is equal to A, so A QE sin theta. So when you add this, you will get 2 QE into 2A sin theta. Again we will express it in terms of P vector, where P is the dipole moment. Okay, here theta is the angle made by P with E. Here P is 2AQ. Instead of 2AQ, I can write P. So you will get PE sin theta, that can be written in vector form P cross E. Okay. Now the magnitude of this torque is equal to PE sin theta. Now what will happen if theta value is equal to 90 degree? If theta value is equal to 90 degree, sin 90 is equal to 1, then torque is equal to P into E. Okay, so torque is maximum when theta is equal to 90 degree. Okay, this torque tends to rotate the dipole and align it with the electric field E. Once P is aligned with E, the total torque on the dipole becomes 0. Okay, so far we have discussed torque on the dipole if it is placed in a uniform electric field. Suppose if the dipole is placed in non-uniform electric field, what would happen? If the dipole is placed in a non-uniform electric field, in addition to the torque, there will be a net force acting on the torque, because electric field is not same at all points. Okay, so here in addition to the torque, there will be a net force acting. Okay, microwave oven works on the principle of torque acting on the dipole. If you see in microwave oven, oscillating electric field is applied. Okay, the food content contains water molecule which are permanent electric dipoles. Okay, when these water molecules are placed in non-uniform electric field, when they are subjected in non-uniform electric field, then these electric field produce torque on the water molecule. Because of this torque on each water molecule, the molecule rotate very fast and produce thermal energy. This thermal energy is used to heat the food material.